We go now to another video. Alex Jones interviewed a UKIP and EU Parliament member, Gerard Batten, who's called for an investigation into the group. We're only going to play a small portion of that, but if you go to the article, UKIP and EU Parliament member Gerard Batten calls for investigation, you can watch the whole thing, and that you can find on Infowars.com or at Infowars.com/B. We go now to that interview.
My name is Gerard Batten. I'm a member of the European Parliament for London for the UK Independence Party. And we're here today outside the Grove Hotel where they're having the Bilderberg meeting because I'm one of those many people from many different political points of view who are asking the question, what are these people meeting for? I think this year is very significant because it's the first year in 59 years that we've actually got members of the mainstream press and media turning up to actually interview people like me and Alex Jones, who's here and filming me today, and asking what's going on. That's a major breakthrough. And I think that the reason that people are very upset about this is because they don't know what the conclusions are of these meetings. Now, they say they don't have any conclusions, but are we really supposed to believe that 130, 140 people of the most powerful, richest, influential people in the world give up their time, fly across the world to come here, and it doesn't have a significance? I don't believe that for a minute. If it isn't significant, why would they come? If it is significant, what does it all mean? And I think the reason that a party like mine, the UK Independence Party, is soaring ahead in the polls and getting votes is because people now feel that politics is something that's done to them and not something that's done for them. And this is the heart of the malaise. People feel that it doesn't matter what they think, it doesn't matter what they believe, they're going to have these policies that they don't want thrust down their throat anyway. And this is where my party's different, whether you agree with us or not. A lot of people feel that we're sincere and we actually stand for certain things, and that's why they're voting for us.
I heard you speaking with the London Telegraph just a few minutes ago, and you've obviously done your research because it's been declassified. The CIA funded the creation of the European Union. UKIP's the fastest growing party, obviously, now in the UK in the last elections, because you guys talk about how you're losing your sovereignty and how you've got EU license plates and 80% of your laws or so are EU and you don't get a vote on it. But again, it's a corporate group that took over America, created the UN, created all this. It's not even really America, but it was the CIA, kind of this corporate body that's anti-free market, kind of monopoly men, that did set up the EU to get rid of the sovereignty of Europe. I mean, if Hitler would have come up with a corporate plan to take over, we'd all be...
He did. Because, in actual fact, in 1942, the German German Central Bank under Dr. Walter Funk, along with leading industrialists, set to how we're going to run the economy of Europe.
So even members of the EU Parliament want to know what's going on. Probably a bunch of conspiracy theorists. In fact, it wouldn't be anything like mergers being discussed. No, nothing like that. Oh, but Steve Watson reports here, would-be world's biggest oil merger agreed at Bilderberg. The London Telegraph reports today in its article titled Bilderberg Group, No Conspiracy, Just the Most Influential Group in the World, that recently a major oil deal, in fact would be the world's biggest, was formulated at a Bilderberg meeting. And this goes back to a gathering in 2004 in Italy. And it was, according to Tom Bergen's Spills and Spin, the account of the Gulf of Mexico disaster, Lord Brown, head of BP, used a walk by Lake Como at the 2004 gathering in Italy to suggest a vast merger with Shell to create the world's biggest oil company. Representatives from both BP and Shell are at the Bilderberg meeting this year, as usual, as well as members of the Dutch royal family and Dutch Prime Minister. Shell Oil is a subsidiary of Royal Dutch Shell, which was founded under the Royal Charter. So nothing going on. We're just going to create the world's largest oil company. And if they spill oil in the Gulf of Mexico, well, there won't be anybody doing anything about it because then they just might turn off the supply or jack up the price or do whatever they want because, you know, we have no power over them because we are their slaves, which is how they view us, which is why they meet in front of hotels with statues like this in front of it. Pretty weird, if you ask me. So that's going to conclude the first part of our Bilderberg portion of the news. We're going to come back with some more Big Brother news, but I want to end this section on a quote from David Rockefeller. Here it is. Everything is in place after 500 years to build a true new world in the Western Hemisphere. And what happens if we don't pass NAFTA? I truly don't think that a criminal would be too strong a word for rejecting NAFTA. So he thinks it's criminal that if we don't passed the North American Free Trade Agreement. I think that's what NAFTA stood for. And I believe it was Ross Perot said, if that's passed, you're going to hear a giant sucking sound of jobs going down to Mexico, which happened. And then there was another giant sucking sound of those jobs leaving Mexico going to China, all in the name of globalism and corporate profits, and all at the detriment to the U.S. economy. We'll be right back after this break with some more transhumanist, Bilderberg, and Big Brother news right after this.
Many anthropologists and archaeologists believe that before man even discovered the power to harness and use fire, we were involved in agrarian activities. That is, taking the seeds of plants and then replanting them to produce more. The very foundation of our modern civilization and human culture is centered around the planting and cultivation of edible plants, fruits, vegetables, nuts, you name it. And the globalists have been going after gardening. They've been harassing people that have gardens in their front yards or their backyards. They've called for licenses for people to have gardens because you can't trust prisoners in the police state America to be able to grow their own food. That's why I've come to the realization that we need to become self-sufficient. You need to be informed. You need to have the Second Amendment to protect yourself. You need to be politically active to wake up others. You need to filter your water. But you also need to plant a garden. Even if you live in an apartment, you can do this. If you live in the countryside, obviously you can do it on a grand scale. There are so many green belts in areas that humans don't even visit, nearby cities and in suburbs, where people are now more and more planting their own little private gardens and meadows and off the side of the road. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a revolutionary act to unplug from the television, to unplug from the computer and all the globalist propaganda, and to go out in your backyard or your front yard or planters at your apartment or on the roof of the building where you live, and to plant a garden.
Here are some of the amazing deals at InfoWars Seed Center at InfoWarsShop.com. The Survival Seed Vault by My Patriot Supply features only the finest survival heirloom seeds for a robust and hardy garden, even in the toughest of times. The ARC All-in-One Seed Kit contains 70 varieties of 50,000 seeds of fruits, vegetables, medicinal, and culinary herbs. All ARC seeds are heirloom. Each type is labeled and sealed separately for ease of use and longevity. The Deluxe Emergency Seed Bank combines 3 of Emergency Seed Bank's top sellers: the Family Survival Emergency Seed Bank, the Medicinal Herb Seeds Pack, and the Culinary Herb Seeds Pack. We also have starter varieties of the deluxe seed packages for fruit, salad, salsa, peppers, and medicinal herbs and more. Go to the InfoWars Seed Center at InfoWarsShop.com.
A little seed can grow a huge tree that produces fruit for up to 50 years. We have the best life bombs. That's what these are. We have the best weapons against death out there at the lowest prices, waiting for you to lovingly plant them and lovingly grow them and lovingly eat them and share them with others. We will strike back against the New World Order, and this is only one more initiative in our fight against them. So please join us at InfoWarsShop.com, or you can link through at Infowars.com at the InfoWars Seed Center.